probably hate this exercise, but it's the one exercise that can push your testosterone levels higher than 800 plus and do so relatively quickly and naturally. Most men are avoiding this exercise, and it's not doing them any favors. It's one of the many reasons that men's testosterone levels are getting lower and lower year on year on a mass global scale. You see, every exercise you do sends a hormonal signal to the body. Some sorts of training tell the body to increase cortisol for the next few hours, marathon training. Some exercises tell the body to have more of an anabolic nature, let's put it that way. And this particular movement, the one that you've probably been avoiding because it's awkward or painful or whatever, has a huge potential to spike your testosterone levels over it. When you do it consistently over time, not just once and then take a blood test, you've got to do it over time. And it's not just the testosterone, it's also mobility, it's balance, it's injury prevention. This is a ton of benefits, and so many guys are avoiding it, and I think it's a mistake. So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how to do this exercise without getting injured, without wrecking your joints, how to program it into your typical week, and why it elicits such a strong hormonal response especially in the male body. By the end of the video, you'll understand how one exercise, literally, I'm not even exaggerating, one exercise, when you do it hard enough, frequently enough, over a span of time, can transform not just your physique, but your testosterone and all your hormones as well. Now, you're probably assuming I'm going to say squats or deadlifts. Something that's potentially even better than that is going to be slightly higher rep dumbbell lunges. The reason I say dumbbell lunges over deadlifts is that for 99% of the male population, 99% of people watching this, it's going to be safer long term. Deadlifts are great. Don't get me wrong, but I've just seen too many people who are actually good and they know what they're doing, and they are decent and they use good technique, and they are not newbies to the gym, but they still have these little twinges in their lower back or issues with somewhere in their upper back or their neck from deadlifts. It's a higher risk exercise, especially when you're fatigued. If you're not sleeping perfectly, you've got a physical job, too many things can go wrong. Dumbbell lunges all the way. And with dumbbell lunges, you have some hip flexor benefits, some mobility benefits. It's more of a natural movement, I would argue, than the deadlift. And people let their ego get in the way with the deadlifts as well. So let's get into the benefits of the dumbbell lunges. Why do you want to do them? Now, the number one thing is with testosterone production and training is you want to focus on the lower body, not the upper body. You know, you can do your bicep curls and everything, but it's not going to lead to as much testosterone as leg training is. This is according to the science, but also the guys I've coached, the blood tests I've done. Leg training, when you take it seriously, will increase your testosterone significantly, as long as you don't overdo it, as long as you recover. And as long as you don't get injured, which is another reason I'm going to keep coming back to why I don't put deadlift as number one. So dumbbell lunges are amazing for hitting the quads, hammies, glutes, so the biggest muscles in your legs. One leg at a time is pretty unique because it allows you to really focus on each particular leg. You can't quite do that on a leg press or doing a squat or doing the deadlifts. People are focused on like how much weight they're lifting with the deadlifts. They're not really focused on breaking the muscle tissue down. Or if you want to be really pedantic and say that's not how it works with muscles, you know what I'm saying. They're not focused on actually feeling the contraction, which is what leads to the testosterone production. Your testes don't care whether there's 500 pounds on the bar or there's 470 or there's 370. They care. It's the muscular contractions that actually gives the signal. You know, it gives the incentive. And then dumbbell lunges are also going to be very good for your grip. If you're going heavy enough, they'll also potentially hit your traps. And there's a lot of androgen receptors in your traps. Guys who followed my stuff for a while will know this. Anything that targets the traps is potentially going to give you more androgen receptor activation, which will make your testosterone be put to use better. And then on top of that, you've got the core stabilization. There's a certain amount of mobility. There's a certain amount of functional movement. The lunge is a very, very basic primal human movement. we need to be able to do. And one of the biggest reasons I keep saying a habit above the others is because you're less likely to get injured. Even heavy back squats tend to have a risk for your lower back and knees. So the next question becomes, how often should you do these dumbbell lunges? How intensely should you do them? How many sets? How do you recover in time? The golden ratio I've found, and there's exceptions to this, if you are 18 years old and you've not got a full-time job and all you do is train, you live in the gym, you sleep 9 hours a night, you can go higher than this. If you're 63 years old and your testosterone is relatively low and you're sleeping 6 hours a night, or you've got like a family of 5 kids and a really crazy work schedule, you might need to do less than this. You'll probably need to do less. The ideal for testosterone production that I found with myself and my clients, twice a week. So you hit legs twice a week, which could mean dumbbell lunges twice a week, and then an assistance exercise. So you could do your deadlifts first if they work for you, or you could do something else, leg press, whatever, with dumbbell lunges twice a week. So it could be Monday, Thursday, Tuesday, Friday, Wednesday, Saturday, which is what I do or have done. And then you make sure you recover. You train hard, train to failure always, which is what I suggest. Not with deadlifts though, you're going to get injured doing that. Train hard, train really intensely. And I don't care what scientific studies say, if there's no intensity there, there's no stimulus there. You have to incentivize your body to make changes. It wants homeostasis. It wants to stay the same. You have to come in and say, no, we need to get better. So you've got to give it a stimulus. The amount of sets you do isn't really that. You've got to have the intensity. If the intensity isn't there, there's no point going. You might as well just leave it till another day. So you train very hard, but you recover harder. You have to recover, which the number one thing is sleep. So 8 hours a night, 2 hours REM sleep. I've done other videos on this, but also days off. Guys, especially younger men, there's a lot of guys in their 50s actually who are, like very much the macho in the gym 7 days a week. The more you train, the better. You don't need sleep when you're dead. And it's just not true. Hormonally, what happens is your cortisol and your prolactin get too high. When the prolactin's high, you are not going to be high testosterone. These guys are like maximum 500 nanograms per deciliter. I've seen this over and over again. This is the philosophy. Train your legs to start with. If you're avoiding your legs, you're going wrong. Dumbbell lunges being the top of the priority list, in my opinion and in my many years of experience. Train your legs hard twice a week. Recover even harder. Please take your recovery seriously, because once your prolactin's high, it's game over. You don't want that to happen. And really, that's it. But training is one of the big testosterone fundamentals. You've got other things, diet, cholesterol, nutrients, things like that. Sleep, of course, recovery, REM sleep in particular, vitamin D3, body fat percentage. All these things are super important. If you want to have more of a zoomed out, broad perspective of how to get to 800 plus testosterone naturally, which is what I always talk about, check out this video where I talk about my journey from 400 to over 1,000, where I talk about all the different factors, everything I did, stuff that works for clients as well. I'll see you in that video.